What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build once again. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful and informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you would rate Chapter 4 Season 1 out of 10 so far. Because I was talking about this earlier today. We are very close to the end of the season. There's about 36 days left in the season as I'm recording this. And I feel like typically by this point in the season, I'm usually like pretty burnt out on it and just kind of looking forward to what's to come next, which I think is pretty natural, but I'm not really at that point with this season yet. I feel like the flow of the content this season has been very good, especially once Epic got back from like their holiday break. Obviously there were a lot of bugs, but I feel like most of those have been resolved so far. And yeah, I'm still very much enjoying this season, and we still have another major update to go, and we still also have, you know, the build up for what is potentially going to be whatever this season's event is, if there is one. And just like, you know, the build up for next season. I feel like the last like week or two of the season is always just us kind of like looking forward to the next and like kind of putting all the clues together with like whatever is going on with the Rift Gate. But yeah, I think this season has done very well. I would give it like an 8 or a 9. I think this season has been incredibly good. We'll have to see how it ends. But I could definitely see myself giving the season like a 9 or higher if the last month or so of this season is good. And if there is an event with that is very good. But we're going to be going faulty splits here. This is usually a very populated POI for this bus angle. We'll see what we can get into and what type of player we can spectate. There are a good amount of Oathbound chests here, so we should definitely be able to spectate someone who gets their hands on a hammer if they choose to use that. And then if not, we still have a godlike landing. And if not, there is an NPC nearby that sells a hammer. Come here, sir. I have a crown for you. I have a crown for you, sir. He's gonna burn my crown. There you go. We got spin gain. Spin noggin? I guess this man's name? Yeah, you look silly now lighting the whole house on fire, don't you? I was trying to be nice. And you had to be weird. I think he has a heavy shotgun as well. We always end up griefing the first person in these videos, dude, I swear, because we play so weird, just like running up to them and trying to give them the crown, that they don't know how to deal with it, and then they just end up getting third-partied by the other players. And obviously, if you are this player, you're in a pretty bad spot now. It seems like not a lot of the loot spawned, and you lit your house on fire, which kind of like slowed down your looting. There were some barrels at the bottom there, which he could have used to get some shield and get the unlimited sprint effect, which would have been nice. People fought in the bottom of the house. And he has this top already open, so he should be able to pressure this. An SMG there, that'd make his life a lot better. He hits the tag with the heavy, that's good. This person is getting away, though. I don't know if this person knows they can sprint. Okay, there we go. Let's say I haven't seen them use the sprint at all. They end up picking up that kill. There's a red eye there. Personally, I would take that. I'm not a huge fan of the heavy shotgun. It'll do. It's better than no shotgun. And I don't believe the player he killed had a shotgun anyways, but I don't like how eager this player has been to use the bow. I like these. Even if he hits somebody here and lights him on fire, odds are he's not going to get that kill. So I feel like you want to take the time that you just got, if you're this player, to get your game into a better state. There's a red eye there you could take. I believe there's minis on the ground outside the building that dropped from that player he killed. And then there was also chests in the bottom here that he could heal. And potentially or that he could open the chest, sorry, rather, and potentially get some better loot and potentially get some shield, because he doesn't have any shield right now. And I feel like that is one thing a lot of players struggle with in early game, is they're kind of way too eager to third-party fights, like those players down at the bottom by the bowling alley who's really eager to third-party them. Yeah, there were some minis there, but that's what I was talking about. He was really eager to third-party them and potentially get a free kill that he probably wasn't going to get anyways. And then for that, he ended up wasting time in looting. Time is wasting time that he could have used looting. Timing is super important in early game, and pressure is super important in early game, I guess would be a way to describe it. And yeah, you just want to get safe and get your game to a decent point. That is your goal at spawn. The people that aren't necessarily a threat to you aren't very important in the early game. This anime lady ends up getting the kill. Surprisingly, they were just full focused on the thunder there, which was weird. I mean, I guess they only had a burst to follow up with, but you definitely, if you are using the thunder shotgun, you want to be cycling between the pump and some sort of spray weapon, because with the thunder shotgun or any pump shotgun in Fortnite, it doesn't matter if your character actually completes the pump animation of the weapon. All that matters is a certain amount of time passes between shots. So On one hand, you could just sit there with your pump out, or on the other, you could swap to your SMG or your pistol or your FAMAS and fill that delay, that time, with something, you know? So if you pump, swap to your SMG and spray, you've maybe filled that pump delay with like 80 or so damage on the opponent, and then you should be able to swap back to the pump again and finish them in that last shot. So no matter what you do, like there's time between shots with the pump shotgun, but you might as well fill that shotgun with some sort of damage is the rationale. In zero build, in build mode, there's times where you want to like pump and then build. You don't always just want to be swapping. But yeah, this player seemed to do that much better. And that's usually the main deciding factor in close range fights, I feel like, is the players who are able to effectively like cycle between weapons and effectively juggle between weapons like that and get that timing perfect. And that is something you want to master in this game. Especially for zero build, I don't think that is going to change anytime soon. And I know a lot of players who started playing zero build last chapter used the auto shotgun for a lot of it because the auto shotgun was very good. But now we have like a more traditional shotgun balance, I would say, this season, where the pump is much better than the Maven. And I feel like the players who are able to use the pump effectively and weapon swap effectively definitely come out on top more often this season. And it's just one of those things where once you build that skill, you can kind of go back to it later on, you know? Like, I use the auto shotgun a lot in Chapter 3 as well. But since I've played Fortnite for a long time, and, like, I played during double pump meta, and I'm just, like, very comfortable with this game, I was able to slot right into this meta, which is, like, a pump spray weapon just fine. So, I know a lot of players kind of avoid trying to learn skills because they don't want to, or they don't know how long that meta will last, but, like, usually once you learn something, you can keep it going for the future. So far this game, I would say definitely you want to be very good and comfortable in those close range fights, and you want to be comfortable swapping. But also you want to use your time in early game effectively. We saw that first player we spectated not really do that. They were wasting a lot of time, and then they didn't have the shield on in that fight, and they got just caught bad timing looting those minis that they could have had way sooner if they weren't worried about lighting the bottom part on fire. Unfortunately, one thing we can't see when spectating players is which augments they take. I really wish we could. Good play from that guy. This guy's going for a 2-gun loadout. I wonder if he's going to take the pistol instead of the SCAR, because a lot of players that opt for a 2-gun loadout this season, yeah, they go for a shotgun pistol. And if I had to use a 2-gun setup this season, I think that is what I would be doing. But I like using 3 guns this season with the Thunder Shotgun, the pistol, the Red Eye, mobility, and then heals. But I know a lot of good players that run 2 weapons. It could definitely work. But it's just like the pistol is so good, it's almost better than the SCAR at like medium range. Especially if you have the pistol amp augment, which we can't see if this player does. Like, not only can we not see what augments they have, but we can't see his mag size. But we might actually be on board with a good player here. This player seems like very comfortable with the game. Unfortunately, they don't have chug splashes, and they have minis instead. We'll see how they're going to play this. I think that there's 2 people at the gas station, so they're waiting for a fight to break out there. That way they can third party it. Because, one, they don't have any damage on that person up top. And even if they psycho that and just like 50-50 it, which wouldn't be a good play, they're just going to get third partied by the other player there. So I believe he's waiting until they actually fight so he could third party it, or he's going to wait and see if he can ever get good opening tags. But I like that. I think just hopping on people with no initial damage this season is very questionable because of how hard the pump shotgun hits. You want to be involved in this fight, though. Augments aren't this important, bro. Get involved. He kind of missed out on his timing. The person killed right away. Now there's another person third partying. This is bad. He might actually be chilling here. They're both low ground and they should fight. But yeah, I feel like that augment timing was not ideal. This is good. He got to him like an off angle where he can like have a better chance to third party it. It was really unfortunate for him that like they didn't fight for a while, and then when they did, it was immediately over. He's not responding to this well. I do not understand what this player is trying to accomplish. We'll see if this goes well for them. No, rip. It's an awkward fight. But I was gonna say it's I don't even know if I got this thought out, but like pushing people with no early damage this season is very dangerous because of how hard the pumps can hit. And if you let your opponent get off like 1 to 2 pump shots in a fight, it can go very bad for you very quickly. And even if you do end up getting the kill, third parties are just so detrimental because of how much mobility is in the game. And if every pump shot is hitting very hard, you're going to be left with very little HP. They end up getting the kill there. That was an incredibly awkward fight, but they get the kill and then they immediately get out, which was a good play because they did know that those people were gas station earlier. Another person coming behind him. Yeah, I think you just get out of here. This is probably the best play. This other person seems like they might chase though. If I was this player right now, I would want to like get the jellies potentially, but also there's coolers here, here, and here. There's like 2 coolers over here and then 1 over here. There's a cooler over here and Oathbound chest there, and I think chug splashes are very important. They have always been important in zero build because it's hard to buy time to heal, but especially with the amount of mobility this season and how chaotic it can get, like I was just talking about before, if you're in a fight, you're probably getting third-partied, and you're probably taking a lot of damage in that fight because of how good these weapons are. So I feel like you really want to have fast heals this season. You really, really, really want to have chug splashes, I think. Minis aren't really going to cut it. I feel like when everybody can just get on you right away. And there's a person above him on the mountain right now. There's a person deep left. This is a very chaotic situation. There is a lot going on here. I feel like you just want to get out of here if you're him. I don't... Maybe he third parties this. This could work out. I don't think this player took very much damage. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's like wasting way too much time there. This could be a kill easily. I think... Okay. If his pistol's loaded, dang it, he kind of missed out on his optimal timing there. Because his pistol wasn't loaded. I'm not a fan of this glider redeploy. I feel like it's kind of cap. It could be useful in future seasons. But with the amount of mobility in the game right now, I feel like glider redeploy isn't very good. And it's very easy for people to like try you when you're using it. Because you don't have very much side-to-side movement. These players are in a tree. This is so awkward. One got in the truck again. There's a person approaching from like his deep left. And then there's still a person deep right as well. I couldn't even see that guy. And then also there's a lot of coolers in faulty as well that this person could have checked to get splashes. And I've kind of talked about this before on the channel, but like some players I feel like don't really know what to do mid game. They kind of like play early game out and then they just want to exist until end game. But I think it's very important to make it to end game with the items you actually want to have. It'll be really unfortunate if this player makes it end game and then gets in a situation where they really need fast heals, but they don't have chug splashes because they didn't want to loot faulty. But faulty has an absurd amount of coolers, which is another reason why I like it. Like it's a POI where a lot of people land, which is nice. It's pretty hot usually. That's the same thing. But there's a lot of coolers there, and there's a lot of Oathbound chests there, and it's a decent path to the NPC that sells it. This player is definitely dead here. And this is kind of like what I'm talking about. Even if they get in this building, it's going to be so hard for them to get minis off. Whereas, like, if they had chug splashes, they at least get, like, 2 off before they can hit a shot. But GG's. Did they end up dying to that person that they could have killed earlier if they kind of played that fight a little bit better? And then once again, this person is dead immediately. That's kind of how this situation plays out, and that is why every little timing matters on like how fast you can get heals off, and chug splashes are just the best healing item in the game right now. This player also going for a 2-gun setup. They have the Maven and the Red Eye, they have the Hammer, and they have the Nimbus Cloud, and that is kind of what allowed them to get away from that situation before, was just the absurd amount of mobility they have, and then they also have good heals. I don't really care for the Maven shotgun whatsoever. It's just not my thing. I think it's definitely better on keyboard than it is controller. Like, it just doesn't have very much aim assist compared to the Thunder shotgun. It just feels weird to use. And definitely compared to other shotguns as well. I feel like it just doesn't have very much aim assist. And that makes it inconvenient to use. And it's just like on a DPS perspective, I feel like it's not as insane as like Thunder and a spray weapon, I feel like. But it definitely can work. There are a lot of good players like the Maven, but it's just, I don't know, it's not for me. And I feel like for most players, if you kind of put the time in and like learn to effectively weapon swap, the ceiling on like Thunder, shotgun, and pistol, I think it's just better than the Maven. I could see this player cleaning up this lobby though. Like, they've been playing well so far. They're decently aggressive. They kind of almost died earlier to the player we were spectating though. I think if the player we were spectating shot a little bit earlier, then they maybe could have killed them. I don't know. It would have also been nice for the player we were spectating to open with their pump. But like, they were already on their pistol, and there's a chance that like the player hears the pump swap and then like he loses his initial timing. So I kind of do understand why he didn't go for that. I don't know what's going on here. He's looking for these hollow chests. I don't know what he thinks he needs. I feel like his loot is fine, unless he really hates using the Maven. But I feel like he doesn't mind the Maven because there was pumps they passed up. Maybe a better red eye. I just don't think red eye rarity matters very much at all, personally. It can matter in some situations, but it's like, it's not the biggest deal. Like, more often than not, the situations where red eye rarity is the deciding factor in a fight, there's probably other mistakes that were made. Like, this season, the only weapon rarity I really care about is shotgun rarity. Like, it'll be nice to have a better red eye or a better pistol, but it's not the biggest deal to me personally. I have 6 opponents remaining. This is kind of a weird zone. Like, yeah, this is gonna be a weird end game. There's a lot of hills here and terrain that you can use as cover, but I feel like there's not any, like, you know, there's not anywhere that's great to be. Like, a lot of those terrains and hills and stuff kind of depends on where the opponents are, and you can't necessarily know that. I only got 1 tag there. Maybe shotgun also has, like, pretty unfortunate range. He's really thirsty for this kill, though. I say you just let them go. It's not the biggest deal to kill them. That player didn't seem like the best, and he really didn't get that many tags on him with the red eye anyways, so it's like, it's not really like he's losing that much. I could see really wanting that kill if you had fried them and gotten them really weak, or if they seemed like a good player. Like, if I'm fighting someone who seems like a decent player and I get them weak and we have a chance to kill them, I definitely want to finish. But if someone doesn't seem as strong, I'm definitely more willing to let them go. He does have to move the zone here. I think he's just kind of like waiting. He wants to late rotate. I don't think there's anybody else in the bowling alley, but maybe he got visuals on it or something. I'm assuming he has splash medic, and then that's why he's concerned about opening this. Because like his ammo's fine, but if you have splash medic, then yeah, you can open that and maybe get a splash, and that makes your life better potentially. That person is existing on that hill being annoying, but they are gonna have to leave. And this is what I was talking about before with the zone. It's just like, since there's nowhere great to be, all of the cover is like kind of like dependent on where the other people are, and you can't necessarily always know that. So him like playing late rotate there was like pretty good, I think. It's unfortunate there's somebody else in the hill and there's somebody in a bush there. But that's like this zone. There's nowhere that's like great to be. Maybe that tower, but even then you get shot from every direction. It's kind of a show. Like a zone like this, I feel like you definitely want to play edge. Like you could just chill here and you're fine. You can kill this Doomslayer, maybe not. Oh no. This Doomslayer is so awkward. Gets that kill. Actually didn't even take any damage. I thought he was like getting pretty weak there. Like it seemed like that Doomslayer kind of fried him. All his splashes are gone. How many of these does there? 4? But yeah, I would say a zone like this that's just really open and there's nowhere that's great to be. You want to kind of be edge and you want to be low profile. Whereas like fighting that Doomslayer like that just like made him an obvious target for those other players. He's going to be able to get to 170 here, I think. Unless he has the forage perk, we'll see. Yeah, no, he doesn't have forage. But yeah, he has bush heal, and then he has those to get to 170. Or I guess 230 with overshield. And that tower, like the thing about a zone like this also, like when there's one good spot to be like that tower, it's almost like too good because everybody is going to be like hyper fixated on that. So 1v1v1, I would say if you're him, you want to kill the person that just fought over here because the player that was like previously shooting you with the DMR, he didn't seem like that great of a player. If this person was more comfortable with the game, they probably would have pushed off that damage and then this person probably wouldn't be alive anymore. But the fact that he was able to live that situation, I feel like means that that other person is the lesser of the two players potentially. Well, you don't really know anything about the other person, but they just got a kill and you know the other person isn't that great. So if it's a situation like this, I want to try to kill the player that I think is better first. If I can. Like, obviously, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're going to get third-partied, you'd rather get third-partied by the player who isn't as good, I say. And he is kind of doing, like, what I said I would do, where you're just kind of playing more low profile. His zone is scuffed. I would say you could get top tower right now. You could Nimbus top tower and kill this person. I think that other guy with the DMR just isn't much of a threat. And they're actually fighting now. Yeah, I think you definitely Nimbus to the top of the tower right now and you win the game off it, 100%. Because the tower is going to be in zone. I guess the only thing you'd really have to worry about is like everybody else kind of doing the same thing once you do. But I think if you're top tower right now, this game is already over. I'm not really sure what's going on. Because you're letting other people potentially get up there, potentially get under it. He goes for it. He messes it up. There is somebody camping top tower. Maybe he knew that. I didn't see that player there, but maybe he did, and that's why he was like hesitant to go for that. This gets awkward. He wins this though, actually. Maybe not, actually. I don't know. I thought they were fighting, but they're not. This is so messy. And I feel like this is a lot of the problem people have with people just hammer smashing them over and over again. Is like the zone gets really small and chaotic like this. But he should win this now. Yeah. No, 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 no. You focus that person. Yeah. Cool. GG's. Okay. That was scary though. Because like it's a 1v1v1. One player just hammer smashed one in the zone. I feel like at that point you kill the person that hammer smashed, and then after they're dead you focus on the person that's running out of zone. Because if you focus the person that's running out of zone, then maybe the hammer player can just hammer up to you and kill you. But they ended up getting the win there. That was just a really awkward zone, and it's rough to play those. I feel like the only thing you can kind of do is play edge. Try not to be in the position that's way too good, because then you're going to get focused. And maybe that player was up there the whole time and he saw them up there, and then that's why he didn't Nimbus up there. If that's the case, then that was a good play. But I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think of Chapter 4 Season 1 so far, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.